Welcome to the spiral.
Welcome to episode 6.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to talk about the peanut butter to narcissism's jelly today.
Oh, good one.
Wasn't that fun?
Codependency.
Ugh. Remember, I'm codependent.
Oh my God, me too. How is it episode number 6?
Isn't that wild?
We have a lot to talk about.
We really do. And I was afraid we were going to run out of things.
No.
But it just keeps on going and going.
We're going to be doing this for decades.
Because life is the worst.
Life is hard.
It's hard.
Which we say probably every episode.
And probably every day in our personal lives.
God, several times
Why
a
is
day.
it so hard?
Yes, absolutely.
It's real challenging.
So codependency, it's where you excessively rely on another person for your own emotional well-being. So kind of prioritizing the needs of someone else.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. To make yourself feel, that's where you get your self-worth.
Yeah.
Like really complete loss of identity.
Right.
Because
Very sad.
it is sad. And I'm doing it. You know, where codependency comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think we have to clarify this is not just being caring or helpful.
Right.
Those are great qualities. This is to the point of losing yourself.
To the extreme.
Yes.
Right? Your needs aren't a priority anymore.
Mm-hmm. And like we talked about, probably in several episodes, the resentment that you can build when you are putting other people's needs before yourself.
So maybe some lack of boundaries there.
Definitely lack of boundaries.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of narcissism, we talked about that last time, you know, somebody who's codependent is the perfect target for a narcissist.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. I did read that the term codependency was invented in the 1950s. I don't know why I wanted to say 1955, but in AA.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they came up with the term to support partners of people who are abusing substances.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Just because of the partner putting the person with the substance
Right. They need
they're ahead of their own.
Right. Because they need more. Right?
Yeah. But then losing themselves, right? Because they're so focused on helping their partner in that situation.
Yes.
So that's where the term codependency.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching me a fun fact.
Interesting.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So where does codependency come from? Like, how do we develop codependency? Typically, it comes from your family of origin.
Yeah.
Kids who grow up in chaotic homes, kids who take on kind of the parental role, growing up around addiction, emotional instability. That child then becomes, you learn early that your worth comes from keeping the peace or fixing
taking care of others.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And biologically, it also in the prefrontal cortex, basically our brain fails to kind of tone down the empathetic part of a person. Does that make sense?
Explain it to me.
So, like we think about, okay, for our jobs. I mean, we're very empathetic, right? So biologically, like our brain will change. Like if you are codependent, to draw the line when you're being too empathetic, like you're kind of going above and beyond. Like,
okay, so your brain doesn't like basically shut it down when you need to take care of yourself.
Which sounds terrible, but you can only give and give and give so much
until you're burnt out.
Right. Exactly. So biologically, it even affects your brain.
Yes. Yeah.
So in childhood, when you have these experiences, right?
Right.
Your brain will change based on that.
And
we know that about trauma,
Right.
everything else.
Right. Your brain gets rewired.
Yeah, definitely.
And thankfully, you can rewire your brain
Mhm.
as an adult. So what codependency kind of looks like in everyday life is people pleasing,
Mhm.
having a hard time saying no,
Yep.
like you said, feeling responsible for other people's feelings.
Yep.
And who did I just heard you say to somebody, I don't remember what it was, but you said like you are not responsible for other, maybe it was the last episode. You are not responsible for other people's feelings.
Right.
You and nobody else is responsible for yours.
Right. Kind of like that hula hoop
Mhm.
example.
Exactly.
We have to keep this hula hoop like a protection around us.
Yes.
I mean, I can be caring, I can be empathetic towards you, but I can't take those into my
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. And when it becomes codependency is when
Yeah.
it crosses over from just being
Yeah.
caring and helpful to over apologizing,
Mhm.
right? Like for stuff that's not yours. Um, I've really been working on this. I've shared with you before, like I put other people's needs above me so much so that like when I'm walking into the house, like I'll make sure the dog gets to go ahead of me before I go in the house. Like I want to make sure everyone else is happy, everyone else is satisfied.
Yeah.
And I've been really working on reframing apologies from instead of like apologizing for things that aren't your fault. Like,
Right.
for example, if I get stuck in traffic and it wasn't because I didn't plan ahead because you do, I mean, you have to take responsibility for things that are your
Mhm.
fault, but like I get stuck in traffic and I'm late to meet you for lunch.
Right.
Like, I am profusely apologizing. I'm so sorry. I feel like a piece of shit. Like, you were waiting for me
Yeah.
when it wasn't my fault. And I
Right.
shouldn't carry that guilt.
Right.
So instead of, I'm so sorry I was late, thank you for waiting for me.
Yeah.
Like, just a simple
Yep.
reframe.
Mhm. And it takes the responsibility off of you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Also codependency can look like walking on eggshells, like
Mm.
feeling like you have to walk on
Woof.
eggshells. Because again, is that a woof or a bark bark?
It might be a bark bark, right?
Again,
That's resonating.
you don't want to upset anyone.
Yeah. Keep the peace.
Uh-huh.
Keep the peace. Yep.
And like that carries on a whole different anxiety. When you feel like you have to keep the
Mhm.
peace. I have to protect everyone else here except myself.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that can get real tricky.
Well, and what a challenging way to live your life. Um, Again, it's a loss of identity and it's a loss of really even knowing what you want in life because you're too worried about taking care of other people.
Hmm.
It's real sad.
I know. It's finding that balance.
Mhm.
Because of course you want to be caring. Of
Yes.
course you want to take care of others.
Yes.
Also take care of yourself.
Right. You can do both.
Uh-huh.
It's not all or nothing. It's not black
Yep.
and white.
Yep.
And say when you said like it's a good thing, right? Like being caring and empathetic is a good thing. And
Mhm.
so I think that somehow, just like the boundaries episode, setting boundaries isn't mean. Taking care of
Mhm.
yourself isn't mean.
Mhm.
And we confuse helping and caring when we take care of ourselves, it feels selfish.
Yeah.
And then we feel guilty for putting ourselves ahead of other people when you have to be healthy.
Hmm.
You have to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So again, when I had mentioned about how this term was coined in AA,
Mhm.
um, a lot of the times, so with a codependent relationship, there's the giver and the taker, right?
Mhm.
So the giver's giving and giving, giving, the taker's taking, right?
Mhm.
Constantly.
Yep.
Um, and even though in those situations, the giver feels like they're being helpful, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
taking care of you, I'm trying to help
Yes.
you through this.
And you've learned that that's how you are that's why you're worthy is because you're helping and giving.
Hmm. When in reality, the taker, who is the person that's using
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
relationship, it actually hinders their recovery because they aren't experiencing the natural consequences,
Totally.
right?
Totally. Yes.
Because with natural consequences, I mean, those are a good thing because it does help you change
Yes.
harmful behavior
Yes.
or toxic behavior.
Yes. And so for people who have this giving, 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 giving personality,
Yeah.
that can be a real helpful way to remind yourself, I'm actually not being helpful.
Right. I'm hurting.
Right.
I'm enabling
Right.
this other person
Yes. Yeah.
to be relying on me. Do you have any codependent examples?
So
Not
again,
even necessarily like, I don't want to put you on the spot. Not
well,
your own, but
I do. And again, as we were preparing for this episode, like I talked about last time, I'm like, do I really want to talk shit about my family every week on Sprinks on the Ring?
but
Because
is it talking shit or is
no,
it sharing experiences
that can be helpful to other people.
and learning from it too?
My family's gonna be like, maybe you should go to therapy instead of talking about that's not your podcast. Nope, never gonna do it. Do as I say, not as I do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we talked about how codependency kind of is often derived from your family of origin, these chaotic environments. And my memory of childhood is really poor. Like I have a really poor memory. And I have a friend who convinces me that that's because I have some early childhood trauma that I'm suppressing. Um, and we actually are going to have a guest relatively in the near future that's going to do EMDR, and maybe she can drag it out of me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm not convinced that's true, but anyways, um,
Not because not because I want you to go through those
get that trauma
traumas,
out.
but
Um,
to help you heal.
yes. So I grew up in kind of a chaotic environment. My parents, I shared last episode that they just went through a divorce. I feel like that was a long time coming. When I was 7, actually, I think I was 7, they separated. And as we were preparing for this, I was like, well, can I really, and I don't want to say blame my family, right, for how I got here, but it is what it is, right? Like the environment kind of shapes you. And I was thinking, like, can I really, like, was it really that chaotic? Was it really that unstable? And yeah, I mean, it kind of was.
Well, and I don't think it's blaming. I think you're telling the facts,
Yeah.
right?
And
Not
kind of,
pointing fingers. That's
yeah.
okay. This is what happened.
Yes.
My parents did the best they could do, right?
Yes.
At the time.
Yes. I am a firm believer that people are doing the best they can with
Right.
what they have at the
Hmm.
time they're doing it. So, you know, and I'll get more into that. I'll get more into that later, but yeah, so it was chaotic. It was unstable. At some point, my mom and I moved in with my aunt. I changed school systems. I went from a life that felt really stable to a life that
Safe.
wasn't like,
Yeah. Unpredictable,
yes,
right?
yes. And when a parent is going through something challenging,
Mhm.
sometimes they can become emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
And this is not
Yeah.
to say by any means that I didn't have love. And I know that my parents loved me,
Yeah.
but I mean, as an adult now, I've gone through trying times, and I know
Definitely.
that I've been unavailable
Yes.
to my children.
Yeah.
Um, my mom constantly tells me, even now, like when we're just talking about growing up, like you were so easy. You were always so easy. Like I never had trouble with you, and I'm seeing that
That makes
now.
me say I might cry.
So see, and that's where this kind of blurring, I think, comes from being helpful and caring to being like,
Yeah.
I got to take care of everyone. I got to keep the peace. I got to make sure,
Like I shouldn't cause any trouble
right?
because
I don't want to cause more
I can tell
chaos.
mom is
Yes.
hurting.
Right. She's really
Right.
sad and I don't
Yeah.
want to contribute
Right.
to that.
Right.
And I shared again, my mom has been my best friend since I can remember. And
Mhm.
maybe that's part of the problem, right? I'm constantly telling myself when I want to like discipline my kids or, I don't want them to be mad at me. Like, I want them to like, well, I'm their parent and sometimes they're not going to like me. You are not my friend. I hope when you're an adult we can be friends, but right now my child is not my best friend, right?
Yeah.
Um, so that too, that kind of blurring of roles. Um, And so this resonated with me recently because my youngest is such a little caretaker. Like
Mhm.
he is such a little he is willing to put his own needs. Like he gets a brand new toy for his birthday and somebody wants to play with it and he's like, I just got it and I didn't even get a chance to play with it, but like yeah, that's okay. Like you're allowed to say
It's
no. So sweet.
so kind, but also
Yeah, I worry that
What are
I'm
his needs,
I'm
right?
raising a little codependent boy.
I mean, I feel the same way about mine.
Yeah. I mean, he just like he is so in tune.
Yeah.
If I'm having a hard day, in fact, he was with you the other day
Mm.
and I was upset. I had no idea that I was portraying it when he
Yeah.
called me and he asked me if he could spend the night at your house.
Mhm.
And I just answered his question. He said, "What's wrong?" Now he's 10.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Nothing." And he's like, "What happened?"
Mhm.
I'm like, "But I'm okay." And he's like, "Are you sure?" Like he is so in tune. And I'm like,
Huh. Well, and that's just it as children, even not to cut your
"No, no, no."
'cause I wanna get back to that, but, even in my own therapy sessions with my therapist, kind of learning about different parts of us, and I really like it. It's kind of a systems theory
Mhm.
approach,
Mhm.
but we have these different parts of us, and one of them, I kind of realized as a child, I felt like I had to protect my parents at certain
Mhm.
times. Like, and I could tell by their tone. I could tell,
Yes.
like, just the whole mood would shift,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And just taking that on. And we do learn it as children, right?
Mhm.
Because we think we're helping. We think this is
Yes.
a good thing that we're
Yes. And
doing.
it feels good
Yeah.
when things are
Yeah.
calm and peaceful
Yeah.
in the environment. So you feel like and that's again where that idea
Yeah.
that that's where your self worth that's your worth is what you how you can help others.
Right. And like those are good
Sure.
traits to have,
Sure.
right?
Until
But they shouldn't be driving us.
exactly.
That part should not be
Right.
dictating
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So talking about deriving your self-worth from being needed or helpful,
Yeah.
which led to the relationship I talked about last week, right? This
Yeah.
person who, struggled with his mental health. And so he was able to manipulate me because I felt like, again, he told me, like, you're the only one that understands. I've never been able to tell anyone else this. So that, like, drove that, like, look at how
Got
helpful
it.
I am. Look at this is my
I'm
worth, is
helping.
what I can give to other people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Instead of being his girlfriend,
Right.
I'm helping him.
Yes. Yes.
Kind of sticking to our roles
And
relationship.
often people who are codependent, there's a big fear of abandonment. So they are willing to tolerate unhealthy relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Even when it's one sided,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's abusive, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like we talked about earlier, you can break these patterns. You can rewire your
Hmm.
brain. And so the ways that we can do that are first of all awareness. I mean, you have to be self-aware that these are my patterns, right?
Right. Right.
To set boundaries,
Hmm.
see a therapist to
Yep.
get help with how to retrain your brain. Learning to tolerate discomfort, which I
Hmm.
think is true of any no emotion is negative, right? All
Right.
emotions serve a purpose, but uncomfortable emotions. I tell my clients all the time, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable
Yeah.
because if you're not feeling, you're not dealing,
Hmm.
right? You're not dealing with it if you're not feeling these things.
Right.
So you have to learn to tolerate someone else's disappointment. Say no without apologizing.
Mhm.
Start
And that's
small.
so hard.
Right. Start small.
That apologizing one is so hard.
Hmm. Hmm. Really helpful. And I wonder if maybe we can just kind of like go through it with our listeners if they feel like they want to kind of try this little therapeutic exercise.
Mm.
Um, Values clarification for codependency because again, if you are a codependent person and you believe that your self-worth is all about helping other
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
you have lost sight of even what your own values are
Yeah.
because you're living for someone else. So we're gonna go through this exercise. Step one, just kind of a quick brain dump. And you can do it if you want to. You don't have to, but um write down as many values as you can think of. Things that feel important to you. Honesty, family, creativity,
Yeah.
independence. I'm going to give a few examples just so people can kind of humor, kindness, rest, growth, faith, peace, adventure, just 10 to 15 things are values to you.
And just whatever's coming up
Yep.
at the top.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to narrow it down, right? I want you to circle your top 10. And then from the top 10, we're going to cut it down to 5. Also, if you're driving, please don't do this. Because I think a lot of people podcast while they're driving. That's when I listened to our narcissist episode this morning. Cut it down to 5. And eventually we're going to narrow it down to your top 3 values. These are the ones that, like, if you had to design your life around them, you'd feel the most like yourself.
Oh.
Step 3, apply it to real life. Take those top 3 values and ask yourself, where in my life am I honoring these values? And where am I betraying them? Right? Where am I betraying them by over giving, over caring, right? I don't know that those are words, but anyway. For example, if my value is peace, but I keep saying yes to chaotic relationships, I'm living against my values.
Yeah.
If my value is family, I struggle with this. I say that my value is family, but there have often been times that, like, I'll say yes to something like an after hours work thing.
Yeah.
When I say my value is family, but then I'm not really showing that. I'm not living by that.
And is that fear of disappointing others?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right?
Because I feel like I need to show up for other people.
Right.
Yes. Step 4, future self-check. So imagine it's 5 years from now. You've been living by these top 3 values the whole time. What does your life look like? What have you said no to? What have you said yes to? And think about that. Like, what would I want it to look like in 5 years?
Yeah.
If I were really living by my values and not saying yes, and a helpful way to do this is like should versus want, right? Like, ask yourself, am I doing this because I feel pressured to do it for others because I should do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a good way to kind of figure out, because again, loss of self-identity, sometimes you don't even know what you want. So am I doing this because I should? Don't should on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good phrase, right?
Because codependency becomes living by other people's values.
Yeah.
So healing looks like choosing your own values.
Yeah. Being the president of your own fan club.
Yeah.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Cheering for yourself and working on your self-value,
Yes.
self-esteem.
And again, the more you practice saying yes to the things you want and saying no to the things you feel you should. I mean, of course, there are some things you have to do that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't necessarily want to go to work every day, but if I value family, I do have to go to work because I got to pay for them to live in their home. But the more you practice, the less power that guilt and people pleasing has over you. Just like any other skill, you have to practice it.
Another approach I found, so it said winning your independence back from codependency.
All right.
The 4 A's approach.
Ooh.
So the first one's abstinence, abstain from people pleasing, obsessing over others, or trying to control them. The next one's awareness, being aware of your negative self-talk and reversing it. Easier said than done. But one thing I like to share with my clients is at home, if you are having these negative self-talk statements, write them down and kind of make a column. And then, so write them down on the left side. On the right side, then I ask them to write what they would tell themselves if they were a child.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start using.
Yeah. So, and I know some people are like, well, I can just do that in my head. Well, seeing it, writing it down,
it's very different.
Rehearsing it, right? Going back to that and saying, okay.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier to be able to challenge those negative self-talk statements. The third one's acceptance. Reflect upon yourself without judgment.
And easier said than done.
Yes, because we like to judge ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Our own biggest critic.
Yes.
Right?
I'm a real jerk to me.
And if you do judge yourself,
don't judge yourself for judging.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at us using skills. Right. So it's okay if you judge yourself, but acknowledge it, right?
Yes. Yep.
correct it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And then the fourth one is action. Set boundaries, which shows you respect and honor yourself. Because we want you to respect other people, but we also want you to respect yourself.
Yeah. Again,
right?
we don't have healthy relationships when they're one-sided. When we are giving and giving and giving and feeling like we're not getting anything in return.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's the best way for me when I am like going to say no to something, recognizing that this is healthy for me. Like we talked about in the boundaries episode, I have to set these boundaries because this relationship is not going to be healthy if I get so burnt out that I want to check out.
Yeah.
So this is it's still about helping others because so that's how I justify it for myself as a people pleaser. Like, this isn't about me and my needs. It's about keeping a healthy relationship by meeting my needs.
Right. I know whatever it takes. Whatever you have to do to make this
Yes.
doable in life.
Right. Yes.
Because it is so important. We don't want you to lose your identities.
Just kind of to go back to the values kind of thing. Engaging in activities that reconnect you with who you are outside of a caretaking role.
Yeah.
Because we get to the point where this is our identity. We don't even know what we like. I just did this with a client today. I'm like, what do you enjoy? Like, what brings you joy? Yeah, helping other people does feel good, but what else? And she couldn't come up with anything.
Right. For you.
Right. Right. She couldn't. And it's like, how long has it been since you engaged in something that you enjoy?
Right.
So, and sometimes you have to figure out what that looks like. What do I enjoy?
And I think it's hard too when you are a parent, right? Because you do put everything into your children. Sometimes we get lost in that, like the caregiving role.
Yes.
You know, we're putting there.
Yeah.
Also, like, who are you?
We've talked about that a lot. Here we go again, women. Yeah, I do. I feel like when I had kids, I was a mom. And I was a stay-at-home mom for the first 3 years. So that was my whole identity. I was just
Which
a
is
mom.
wonderful.
Right, but you need things for you
And
that
even,
take care of you.
yes, yeah, even if you are a stay-at-home mom, which is the best job in the world,
It's a hard job.
it's a,
It's
oh
a
my
hard
God,
job.
the most difficult job
Credit
in the
to
world,
stay-at-home
right?
parents.
The most difficult
It
job,
is.
but the best job.
Yeah.
But you do need to have your own, your own hobbies, your
Yes.
own friendships, your own,
Yes.
other things that bring you joy.
And then I think just kind of like to wrap up again, reiterating those mindfulness skills, those self regulation skills to tolerate discomfort when not rescuing others. So the grounding activities, the breathing techniques, when guilt or fear of rejection spikes, you've got to have, because honestly, it's like any other addiction, right? Like, you don't feel good unless you're helping someone else.
Right.
And if you don't have a different tool to
Right.
use to calm your nervous system or to self-soothe or to whatever, you're going to fall back on those old habits. So you have to practice these self-regulation skills to learn to tolerate discomfort.
Today I just shared one with a client, the square breathing.
I love square breathing.
And I told them, I'm like, I had to use this last week. I couldn't even remember, and I still can't remember what happened, but I did feel like on the brink of an anxiety attack. My heart was like, I could just tell, like the tightness was coming. And I'm like, and I don't even know what I was doing, but whatever. I just used it right there. I did the square breathing, and it, like, within 5 minutes,
You calm your nervous.
everything was
It calms
reset.
your nervous system, and that's a nice one because nobody even knows you're doing.
No.
You can secretly do it, and nobody even knows.
So inhaling for 4
Yep.
seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, and then holding it for 4 seconds. So it is like you think of a square, right? But that is one you can do anywhere to regulate your nervous system. So in those uncomfortable moments. And then you're teaching your brain, you have control over it.
Yes. I talked today with somebody. We think that feelings drive behavior, but it's actually the other way around,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because like motivation, for example, like it's a trap. If you're going to wait to feel motivated, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
When you engage in an activity, that feeling comes. Like if I'm feeling really crummy and I don't want to clean my house, but I get up and start doing it, then I start to feel motivated. I wasn't motivated to do it. So action drives emotion.
Yep.
And that's how we can recognize that we do have control over our feelings and not the other way around.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Great reminder.
Yeah.
So next week,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about attachment styles,
Yes.
which goes along with codependency and kind of
Mhm.
how,
Yeah, how that develops and what
yeah,
that looks
how we're
like
raised, what,
and how that looks kind of in relationships,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, if you have any stories for us about attachment, anything that you want to hear in future episodes, please reach out to us on Instagram, TikTok,
Facebook,
Facebook,
YouTube.
YouTube. You can email us at shortandsimplepodcast@gmail.com.
Mhm.
And we will see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.